so then we'll get it fixed.
I appreciate that, Chief.
All right, it is 4:40. I don't know where everyone has been because the chair of a nearby committee ended his committee early, and I thought he would be on time, but I was wrong.
I didn't know that. I think you're giving me a hard time.
It's a good thing you don't know better. All right, we've got a relatively short number of resolutions that I believe we can take on consent. Resolution RS 2019-1641. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I jump into this, I know we have both paper on our desk, and I know Ms. Stone wanted to give us an update because of Public Works having announced the first round of traffic calming measures. So let me pause briefly and do some staff reports, please.
Yes, so I sent out a release earlier this afternoon announcing 8 projects. So these are going to be the spring and summer projects that the Public Works Neighborhood Traffic Calming Program is going to tackle. We're going to be selecting additional projects this year that are going to be part of this funding cycle. The application window is going to open in July for that next round. So, you know, I know it's frustrating for neighborhoods that did not get selected this round. I get to be really popular in about 8 neighborhoods and really unpopular in about 55 right now because I think we got 63 applications total. But this is a program that we are really looking to expand and grow in future years. I think we're going to be asking for more funding for neighborhood traffic calming. So this is the first time we're going through this process. We decided to select 8 because it seems like a manageable number based on all of the community engagement that we need to do this first round, and then also tied to our budget for half of our projects. Yes.
And can you speak to what things would be okay not to work through the traffic calming process, but just go straight to the traffic and parking?
Yeah, so if you have an issue with signage or striping, for example, those are 2 things that you'll want to call in to have your constituent call in to the hub or download the app or make a request online. Signage and striping are something that we're going to take via that portal. Traffic calming is more about slowing people down on neighborhood streets and using tools. We have a pretty extensive toolbox at this point to try to do that. Obviously, enforcement is a piece of that as well. So there might be situations where you have a speeding problem, you're not part of the neighborhood traffic calming program, but you request additional enforcement in your neighborhoods. And you would work through your community coordinators to try to get that accomplished.
Okay.
But traffic calming we're taking a more systematic approach to it. From now on, we've kind of revamped the program, and we're really trying to implement solutions holistically on streets rather than just spot treating little problems as they pop up.
I have 3 questions.
Yes.
One is, who's doing the traffic calming? Is it staff or is hired people?
It's like administering the program.
Who's managing the...
Are you saying is there a consultant doing this, or is it Public Works staff? Is that correct?
Correct.
So our program is managed by Derek Haggerty, who's a new engineer at Public Works. He was actually brought on to work specifically on traffic calming. We do have a consultant who works on traffic calming. That's KCI Technologies. I think they used to be RPM. But in terms of like staffing at community meetings and those kinds of things, that'll all be managed internally at Public Works. We would rely on consultants for like data collection and things like that.
So they are employees, the people are going to go to the meetings?
Yes,
are
yeah.
Metro employees?
It'll probably be me and Jeff Hammond and Derek and a lot of the folks that you guys are used
So in
to.
the past, traffic calming was done by a consultant?
Yes.
Okay.
The program is managed internally now at Public Works.
It was done by Collier previously, is that correct?
Well, actually, so KCI has always had the primary contract, and Collier Engineering was a subcontractor of
Yes, they
KCI.
were.
Yeah.
Collier was sub to KCI, yet
Yes.
they were still managing the program?
They
to
were
that.
subbed through KCI for traffic calming management, and that's what they were doing.
My second question. I see some of the things that you're doing as trying to fix these ideas that we have coming from the planning department about connectivity and the way that the city should be designed. Is there going to be an opportunity for lesson learns? Oh, I thought you were.
Oh, no, sorry, I was just-
Is there going to be an opportunity for lesson learns to be used to help the planning department to
Yeah.
tweak how they go about deciding what is a good way to build a creative subdivision.
Yeah, like informing kind of the front end rather than just trying to solve on the back end. We're working really collaboratively with planning on these projects. We'll probably also incorporate WeGo into some of these conversations as well, making sure that we are treating the whole problem and not just, like I said, kind of spot treating. And then planning can use the data that we collect during traffic calming to help inform some of the future decisions that they're making, you know, on the front end of development as it goes in.
And Chair, if I may ask.
You may ask.
So because for me there is a three-leg problem here. One is the planning department comes up with these designs for the city, or these recommendations for the city. But then there is no enforcement or minimum enforcement to make that design work. I mean, if you design a road that goes on for like a couple of miles, then people are going to start speeding on that road. Ideally, you will want them to be aware of the capacity to enforce these designs. And then it's like we have three different departments, Nashville departments, that are working. I don't see, from the outside, with all due respect, I don't see them being coordinated in creating a product that is enforceable, that is manageable by Public Works, and that is designed as a system. So I don't want to put you on the spot. That may be something for us in the council to manage or to legislate or to alter the policy. But Chair, I think that might be something that we may want to look into.
So, help me understand this. Are you suggesting that, you know, by creating traffic calming in some circumstances, we're actually increasing the risk of speeding in others by design, or how are you?
No, I'm saying that the planning department, in an effort to create a better city, that people can move around the city better, that can enjoy the city better, they also make decisions assuming that there will be enforcement, assuming that Public Works will be able to manage some of these symptoms, and then Public Works they are trying to do something assuming that the police will be able to do the enforcement, and then the police is there like, you know, we don't have enough people, you know, we're short 100 people.
If I may, I think fundamentally what the issue is often our lane widths are too wide, right? So if we look at, you know, NACTO standards, which I think Public Works has not necessarily adopted, but we're a member of NACTO now.
That is what we
So, I mean, basically, you know, urban road widths, I mean, historically it was about moving cars really fast, so you had like 12-foot lane widths. So a lot of what we're doing is like reverse engineering roads that we've made too wide. So I would be interested to know kind of what we're doing proactively through the paving program, whether it's with coordinated striping or, you know, I mean, sometimes it's kind of like a mixed bag wherein we have the available right-of-way width, and frankly, if we stripe the lanes narrower, we could actually get somewhat of almost like a side path, frankly.
Which is what happened on Riverside Drive. We saw when that was scheduled to be repaved, we kind of looked at that street and said, okay, we know that speeding is an issue. We know this is a curvy road. What can we do to make this more usable for all users of the road, and moved that bike lane, which was pretty narrow, to the center, to the boulevarded area there down by Shelby Park, and actually created a much wider kind of, I won't call it a multi-use path, but it's being used similar to a multi-use path.
So do y'all then now, based on the walk and bike strategic plan, the core bikeway network, neighborways, all these connections we want to make, when something comes up for paving, then we're aligning it with that, we're looking at narrowing the road width, we're looking at how the striping helps the pedestrians and otherwise, so.
We're definitely taking a more collaborative approach, both internally and I would say externally with other metro departments as well, to make sure that what we're doing makes sense, not just from a moving cars perspective, which was a very like 1950s and 60s approach to city planning, but like you're saying, kind of reverse engineering, especially some of these local and collector streets, to make sure that they're more friendly to all users.
So my question to the chair and to you, I mean, I know that you're not the bosses.
I am not.
Do we need to have a meeting together, Public Works and Planning, to talk about this issue, or should we challenge them to work together and get back with us?
Well, I think Ms. Stone and I had already talked about doing a special meeting of council. I'm fine if you want to have that be jointly with planning.
Well, mostly on the front end, because planning is who's setting up the standards of how all these streets are going to be built and sidewalks and so forth.
And I think as well, so we have our major and collector street plan standards, MCSP, that is appended to Nashville Next, our general plan. And so that sets the standards for sidewalk widths and furnishing zones based on the size of the street or, arterial, collector, and so forth. So to the same extent that we have recommended at this juncture, street tree standards, but we haven't necessarily codified them or put them in the MCSP. I think likewise in the MCSP, we could say, neighborhood lane width preferred, some neighborhoods, frankly, for the traffic calming effect, we actually want like 9.5 foot lanes, so that we could maybe, to Councilman Bednay's point, because MCSP is in planning, kind of best practice standards per NACDO, what those street widths should be, and so that those things are aligned. That would be my suggestion.
Courtney, do you have any objection from a staff perspective to doing a joint meeting?
No, I think probably once we set a date, we can just put together an agenda that covers all of these items. And also, we're working on the recommendation for the countywide speed limit reduction on neighborhood streets, and that's something that I think we're going to be eager to talk about as well. So there might be multiple items that need to be covered in one meeting.
So we were looking at April, and I'll just have Jamie.
Anytime before August, after August.
I think Chair O'Connell and I had spoken about how, last year in April, Councilman Elrod and I had the meeting about the walk and bike strategic plan implementation, kind of in advance of budget, right? So what did that mean for budget? And I think we all still have concerns about sidewalk delivery and that process. And so from a budgetary perspective, in the same way that, we commend you all that you have brought traffic calming management internal to Public Works, I think we all feel like, this is sort of our lean-in moment right now as it relates to Public Works, because we're having some challenging conversations about embedded contractors in your department, that we would be looking at, from a sidewalk program management standpoint, those smaller projects, schools projects, things like that, could we likewise bring those in-house? And I think that's an important conversation to have in advance of budget.
It is. I don't want to derail too much because we haven't even gotten to our agenda yet.
Yeah.
So,
but I think I would hope that we would not necessarily, if we want to combine the meeting, I think among colleagues, what I hear is sidewalk delivery is top of mind, because we have multiple projects that are 100% engineered, and we just need to get them on the ground. So I would just ask we not.
I understand.
Yeah.
I think this meeting should actually be focused on the traffic calming piece, and we maybe look separately on the sidewalk delivery piece.
Yeah, but I think sidewalk delivery, respectfully, Chair, needs to be first.
We might have to look at timing based on where, investigation and other things are for people who want to ask questions about that. So I'm trying to time that based on guidance I get from Metro Legal.
Well, I can promise not to speak the word Collier in that meeting if that helps us have the meeting.
That's fine. Council member?
No, I was just going to say that we wonder why people park on the street, why they don't park in the garage. And the garage is probably stuffed with things because there's no storage in the house. And there's no storage in the house because we designed these houses with mixed-use developments, and we don't have the guidelines there. So there is a systemic problem on the overall way in which we design these places, which means that the streets are covered with cars, people can cross the street, they can go for a walk. So I think there is for me, traffic calming is a symptom of a failure on how we vision the city. But that's just my personal point of view. So
Point taken.
Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions for Courtney on this one? All right.
I have just one comment, because precisely Councilmember Bettner stated, like a decade ago, there was two different standards of the street design with the planning department and the public works. But I think in the recent years, you two departments work really closely together and collaborative, so we are going into the right direction. And with our push, I think we can, continue our improvement.
And then very quickly, I know Ms. Smith had, for our attention, there have been some questions raised recently about recycling, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to address kind of recycling costs and impact.
Okay, and so a lot of folks have heard about recent changes in China and how they are not taking as many
as much material as they had in the past and how that's basically flooded U.S. markets. So Councilman Henderson was getting some questions, and I think probably a lot of you have gotten questions from constituents. What does this mean? And there's sort of this fear because there's some cities in the U.S. that are starting to landfill recyclables instead of recycling them. How does this impact Nashville? And it's almost difficult to believe that something in China like that could impact Nashville, but it does. Even though our material doesn't directly get shipped overseas, the fact that we now have all this material that was going overseas, flooding the local markets, makes it much more competitive. So for cities like Nashville and most U.S. cities, our big problem is contamination because we're now competing with cleaner material that other cities have and that other companies have. And I'm hoping that this document helps to address that. We have some financial information in there. I plan to email this all out to you, and my goal was to give you a couple of weeks to look it over and see if there was anything you felt we needed to add or update, and then we're going to put it on our website on the nashville.gov/recycle, probably up at the top where it's easy for people to find. But I did want to give you all an opportunity to kind of look it over, digest it, and let us know if there's, if you've had specific questions we haven't addressed here, then we're going to update it, and then we'll hopefully early next month we'll get it out.
Sure, can I ask a couple questions?
Thank you so much for this. This is great. 2 questions would be, 1, how does this tie in with the zero waste master plan? And then 2, can we get information and data on how contamination rates compare between cities that do single stream sorted with multiple containers?
Definitely single stream is going to be more contaminated.
Yeah.
It's easier, you have more people participating, it's cheaper, but it's going to always be more contaminated.
Yeah, so could we get the front to back end?
Yeah, I'll try and get
cost?
some
That'd be great.
information for you. Yeah, because see those separated bins, the driver when they're putting it in can even pull contamination out. So
Right.
it's.
I'd just love to see the front end
Yeah.
economics of that as part of this as well. Thanks very much.
Do you have one more?
No, I could go on and on, but I won't.
Okay.
But when we get back together,
Thank
I
you
will.
very much,
So
Sharon. I
thank you.
really appreciate that. It helps us be responsive because
This
it's been a lot in
absolutely
the news
Yes.
lately.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, with no other questions for staff on this, at this point, we will try to move quickly through the rest of the agenda. We've got some potential for consent and resolutions. RS 2019-1641 accepts a grant from the Recycling Partnership to the Metro Public Works Department to provide funding in support of the planned enhancement of the curbside recycling program. RS 2019-1642 authorizes LC Sobro 1 LLC to construct and install area encroachments at 700 3rd Avenue South. RS 2019-1643 authorizes LC Sobro 1 LLC to construct and install an area encroachment at 723 2nd Avenue South. I would accept a motion to approve all of those on consent.
So moved.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? All right, good. I'm sorry, any opposed? No. Excellent. All right, we will move on to
Is he done the
we've got bills on second reading. I know on the first one, we were going to look for a deferral on that. We'll take the next one off, so we'll see. We can just go through bills on second one at a time since there are only 3 and a couple of them can't be on consent. Yes, you are still here. So I know DL 2018-1404 amends section 680-550 and section 1208-150 of the Metro Code of Laws to remove certain storage and impound fees for covered stolen vehicles. Mr. Root, I believe we're going to look for a deferral on this one.
Yeah, and I talked to Billy and Mr. Murphy just a minute ago, attorney for the private towing companies. Yesterday they said everything was fine. They had someone look at it and they said that there's something in there that's going to affect someone a lot more than they thought it was going to affect them. So they want us to be able to take a look at it, and we don't have time to take a look at it before the floor. So we just decided we'd do a deferral so we can make sure everybody's happy before we move it on the floor. So make a motion for a one meeting deferral.
All right.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for 1 meeting deferral. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Defer that on the floor. DL 2019-1518 amends Title 6, Chapter 681, booting services. And we've got a substitute. Mr. Fields, did you want to explain the substitute?
I would rather look around to Mr. Jameson.
He's sitting right next to you, so he might be qualified to do so.
Sure. The substitute adds the Metro Code of Laws reference to the title. It also takes out a provision for a $1,000 fine which we regretfully don't have the authority to do. And lastly, eliminates a liability provision that we were enacting between boot removers and the owners of the boot. We just don't have the authority to dictate liability between third parties.
All right, great. I would accept a motion to approve the substitute. Got a second and a motion. We'll take that.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
I think in this, the age of operator, reducing, currently says 21 years old, and now proposal will reduce to 18 years of 18 years. Is there any reason for the reduce over the age?
I would
I can,
defer to.
we do have a representative from the industry that can probably speak more directly to it, but it's my understanding in speaking with them that from a hiring standpoint, it's more and more challenging trying to find employees. And so opening up the opportunity so they can at least consider someone under 21 was their option, was one of the options they asked.
All right. Any other questions? All right, we've got the, let's take the substitute. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now I would accept a motion on the bill as substituted. Got a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we are done with that. We'll take that to the floor as substituted. BL 2019-1542 authorizes 151 Nashville LLC to install, construct, and maintain aerial and underground encroachments in the right-of-way located at 151 First Avenue South. I would accept the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. I guess we only have one bill on third. Okay. BL 2019-1522. I saw Councilmember Weiner was in here. Shouldn't matter much because I think I'm on this as well. Anyway, this authorizes the acquisition of certain right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights by negotiation or condemnation for purposes of Public Works Department project Highway 70 South sidewalk improvements. And I will allow Councilmember Weiner an opportunity to explain.
I have nothing to say other than we need more sidewalks.
Amen.
Sounds like you've got an amen and a motion.
Chair, if I may, I want to thank
Let's wait
Council
till we get
Lady.
a second, then we'll get the
Second.
All right, we've got it.
Thank
Now you
you.
may go.
I wanted to thank Council Lady Weiner for the re-referral back to this committee and to Public Works staff for sending kind of the drawings on this, just because I also serve Bellevue, though not this area, and I know we've all talked collaboratively about how we really want that kind of gateway and more walkability for the whole community. I would say that these state routes present so many challenges for us and the multiple curb cuts and everything, and so, you know, I can see definitely where they've tried and done and whatever. I mean, I would just say, in my view, and I know it's multiple property owners and they have to have their ingress and their egress, but it's somewhat of an improvement, but Public Works, would love to see us do even better. I'm not holding this up in any way, but I want us to continue to please try to work really proactively with TDOT and try to facilitate some of these curb cut consolidations, because it's just along there. I mean, you've got multiple fast foods and all these different things, and it's just, you know, you can try to make a better walkable space, but it's really challenging.
It's a hot mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. So I do appreciate, Council Lady, you allowing us to kind of give a look to it, because I think it just makes us mindful of the challenges that we all face on our state routes that are in our districts, and, you know, that we all need to kind of be paying extra special attention to the walkable environment, because we are not going to kind of migrate these 100% drivable areas to walkable areas unless we all start to be pretty intentional about, frankly, looking at the details. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you looking at the details, Councilmember, and appreciate the concerns are well noted. Any other discussion on this one? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we have approval on third. Thank you, Councilmember. And I believe that concludes our agenda.
Mr. O'Connell, just quickly, as Public Works. So the spring paving program, and, you know, I know historically, while sidewalks and everything that's kind of intended has always kind of been on a list and, you know, kind of prioritized, I think we're always kind of just calling Mr. Reed and saying, you know, is my paving project happening this spring? Hi, Don, is my paving project this summer? Like, there's no kind of there, and I know that things change and you coordinate with different projects, but as we move into spring, are we doing any better on kind of having that more clear and visible to the community? And who do we call? Who's managing the paving program
I'm not
now?
managing the program, but
Okay.
contact me. I am not in the loop on the paving stuff, to be honest, right now, but I can get whatever information we have. If we have a list that is ready to go, I'm happy to send it out to you all. I know I haven't been sending out first of all, no one has emailed me about that. I haven't been sending out the Friday report. No one reached out to me. I've been waiting.
Far behind us, I am.
No,
I did look at it, but
I plan on sending that out this week. My Fridays have all been very crazy for the past few weeks, but I plan on sending that out this week. I'll include what information we have in terms of the spring paving list in that, just to get it to all council members. And then if there are specific projects that you have questions about, you can start with me and I'll make sure that you get to the appropriate person.
because I think, there's some that's like, is it spring, is it summer, is it fall? And so you tell a constituent, oh, it's not happening in spring, and they're like so dejected, but actually it's happening in summer, so it's really not that, you know
It's
what
not
I mean?
that bad, yeah. And I know weather,
Very good window on kind of what's in the queue.
weather can change things, safety issues can change things, so be a little bit flexible with us on that, but we'll try to communicate if there is a timeline change or anything like that. If we know that we had to move over here to address a base failure or something like that, so this project's gonna get bumped to summer, we'll try to, make sure we're communicating
So
that.
who is administering the paving program right now?
Katrina?
Katrina and Tommy Jones are working on it right now.
Okay.
Oh, one quick question while we got it. I had a neighborhood where you pave the street and it's no sidewalks on the street, obviously, but it had the side, I forget what that stuff is called, the kind of gravel that you put on the side there. Well, it's gravel. But I mean, but it's kind of pavement gravel, so, but when it rained, all the weather, it just washed it all away, so basically it's all gone.
And I turned that in.
I know you did. So I guess, does that come before paving? Will they go back out and do that immediately, or is that something that
That's
gets
just
put?
like an operations,
Right.
like we'll have a maintenance crew, I think, probably come out and address that.
I didn't know.
That's
I just didn't know
separate.
where that fell in the line. Is that in a paving line, or is that in a, we need to go back because they messed up the first time line?
It's gonna be, we need to go back because it washed out the first time.
Yeah, so like capital paving, like going in and resurfacing an entire road is in a different bucket than
Right, that's what I thought.
just those
so.
maintenance issues that come up.
So do we then, so how many paving contractors do we have?
We have no idea. 3 paving contractors.
Okay, and so are they all doing general projects, or do we have one, like, you have another one who just does that repair type stuff?
Our special ops group will go back and do a lot of the repair stuff, and then we have 3 contractors that work on the paving program
And who's doing paving inspection?
in 5 different zones. Right now, Collier is assigned for the paving inspection.
Okay, okay.
And it is, we've gone back and reviewed the contract, we've further defined the scope, and they are currently
Okay,
doing the inspection on the paving.
okay, got it, thank you.
Motion adjourned. So moved.